Welcome to Running on Reddit r/Bridezillas, where the craziest brides and wedding stories are shared on Reddit. My brother is getting married in a few months. I have been asked to be in the wedding party. I'm in my early 30s and have been getting tattooed once every year or two since I was 20, so by now I have a number of tattoos. They're all well done and no offensive/shocking designs. Mostly they are nature and abstract art. No one in my family really likes my tattoos, but it's not their body or their money, so their comments never bothered me much. Sometimes, good tattoo artists have long waiting lists. There's an artist I've been trying to get an appointment with for years, and recently his receptionist contacted me saying they had appointments available. I booked one and got a new piece a few weeks ago. It never occurred to me to think of the wedding before getting it done, and besides, I already have so many tattoos that why would one more make any difference? But my brother saw the tattoo in one of my social media photos and contacted me upset that my new tattoo will be a distraction during the wedding and in the pictures. The dress that he and the bride picked for the wedding party is short and strapless. I offered to wear a different outfit that covers more skin, but they also think it would be distracting for me to not match the rest of the party. I asked why my older tattoos didn't bother them, but the new one did, and they said it's because they had to accept the old ones and thought I'd respect them by not getting any more. I don't really understand how it has to do with respect. Alrighty, for not thinking of the wedding pictures before booking my tattoo. I'm married. I get that wedding photos are expensive and you want them to look good, but I don't think it's right to dictate your wedding party's appearances other than choosing their clothes. OP neglected to say where they got the new tattoo. Maybe it was in a very apparent place and would be definitely noticeable. 1 month ago my wife J, female, 33, and I, male, 34, had a small wedding ceremony in my hometown. I'm Scottish. Jay's American. We met in school. The ceremony and reception were both incredible, and I'm thrilled to be married to the love of my life. That being said, a few nights ago we got into an argument over this that turned into a big fight, and I need some objective input on the situation because I'm not sure where I stand now. When we were planning the wedding, Jay did the majority of the planning, but I did try to help where I could without overstepping. I brought up to Jay that I wanted to wear my late father's kilt on our wedding day. My father and I were always extremely close, and losing him has been difficult. Having something to remember him by on our wedding day. When I ran this by Jay, she said that she thinks that kilts look stupid and our wedding photos would be embarrassing. However, after explaining the importance of the kilt, she seemed to understand and said that I could wear it if I needed something to remember him by. At the time, I thought we were in complete agreement. So, on our wedding day I wore my father's kilt. A handful of family members also wore kilts. It was about 50/50. Jay never once said anything about it then. But a few days ago, when we got our wedding photos back, I saw that the photographer had photoshopped out my kilt. When I brought this up with Jay, she told me that she found it embarrassing and didn't want wedding photos of them. I really had thought we were on the same page about this, as it really meant a lot to me. We ended up getting into a huge fight where she accused me of not respecting her, and I accused her of not respecting my father and my culture. I went out that night with my friends, who took my side, but got a nasty text from her friend accusing me of being selfish and uncaring. I haven't apologized to Jay, and don't plan on it. I feel that she should have spoken up on this instead of just agreeing with me and expecting me to figure it out. I honestly thought we had been on the same page about this after she gave me the okay before our wedding. I know this is dumb, but I could stand to hear some objective input. Sorry if this is jumbled or unclear. Thanks. Edit. Everyone here makes a good point that the photographer probably still has the originals. I'll contact her and see if I can get them back. Edit. I posted this last night after having a couple of drinks and didn't realize this blew up. Thank you to everyone for your advice and input. Marriage counseling might be worth looking into. If the bride can wear a traditional wedding dress, don't see why the groom can't wear a traditional kilt. Me, 24 female. Bridesmaid/cousin, Ella, 26 female, is to be in my wedding party in June. The ongoing issue is that my wedding has a blue and green peacock theme and guests have been asked to follow this color scheme with their clothes. Hair wasn't originally included at all in the color scheme, but my cousin Ella has natural bright ginger hair. I would never ask someone to permanently change their hair for my wedding. I know that would be bonkers. So I suggested some temporary hair dye, but Ella argued that she has been growing her hair for 6 years and doesn't want to risk the color not washing out. I thought this was ridiculous because it literally says washes out in like 14 washes. But Ella says because her hair is completely natural color it might take strongly to her hair. So I gave up on that avenue and suggested a wig. It is one day, one single day, and there are some amazing wigs these days. I had a look on Instagram and you wouldn't even be able to tell. But she said she would feel self-conscious and weird wearing a wig, and that because her hair is butt length, that it might sit weird on her head. So she won't dye it and won't cover it up. I really don't want to come across as a bridezilla, but butt length flaming red hair will destroy the wedding photos and ruin the color scheme completely. I'm at a loss. I can't cut her from the wedding because my mom would murder me, but I can't have freaking Merida ruining the photos. Alrighty for asking this of her for just one single day. TLDR bridesmaid has flaming red hair and refusing to hide it for one single day for my wedding. That has a color scheme it will clash with AITA. I mean, it is a natural hair color. Can't fault her for that. If you like the content and want to support the channel, like and subscribe right now, or you'll be running on fumes. I had an appointment to take portraits to commemorate a big event for a family of 5. They chose a popular location, so the family got up early in the morning, got the kids ready, and drove some distance to be there. We picked a spot and set up. Just as I started to take pictures, another photographer led her wedding party between me and the family and started arranging everyone. It's a big place, lots of great spots for photos, and groups generally just rotate around and take their turn. There were plenty of other spots for them to take pictures for a few minutes before we would have moved on. It was obvious to them that they were in the middle of our shot, but no one said anything. I didn't want to ruin a bride's big day, so we moved to another spot without saying anything. Just as we started taking pictures again, the photographer again directed her party between me and my group. Not a word of apology, no professional courtesy. So again, I moved my group to a new location. Third location, same thing. This time I said, "Are you kidding me?" One of the group looked at me and shrugged. Well, she's a bride. So I guess that excused them all from being civil. The entire bridal party and the photographer were completely ridiculous. Acres of grounds to shoot on, but they followed us around and set up in the middle of every shot. Whatever creates a bridezilla, it's contagious. If your friends jumped off a cliff, would the photographer and bridal party jump too? According to this story, wouldn't doubt it. Let me know in the comments down below if you've ever had a copycat. I had a close friendship with a woman I had worked with for a number of years. We were the same age. We had stayed close after I moved jobs. She had been in a relationship for a couple of years longer than I had and got engaged in 2014 to be married early September 2015. Everything was going great until May 2015. My boyfriend worked in the military. We had been living together for a couple of years and had recently bought our first house together. Shortly after moving in, we get notified that he might be posted overseas in January 2016. He would be going for 3 years. The only way I could accompany him was if we were married, so we discussed it and agreed that if he got the posting we would get married, so I could go with him. That week I met up with my friend for our regular lunch date and told her what was happening. She became obviously annoyed and said that we couldn't get married before her. I laughed it off, as previously she had been saying that she was only getting married for the sake of her fiance, as she wasn't bothered about a bit of paper. Well, we get my husband's posting notice in July, and due to various requirements we must get married before the end of September. We originally looked at just doing the legal option without any hoo-ha, but our parents weren't happy with that. We find one venue that has a date free at the end of September, 3 weeks after my friend's wedding. We book it. I tell my friend when I see her and give her an invitation for her and her husband. She is incredibly pissed. She started to ask me if I was sure about my relationship and if I really wanted to marry my fiance. I honestly thought she was just projecting or worried that I would stress myself out planning a wedding that fast. She eventually RSVPs after the cutoff point saying that they can only make the evening do. I go to get very expensive hen do. She declines the invite to mine. I go to her wedding. It's lovely. They have a bit after the toasts where they congratulate guests who are engaged and wish them luck for their weddings. I didn't get a mention, but I assumed this was just due to the short notice. I had left their card and gift in my handbag and noticed as soon as I got home. I sent her a message apologizing and put it in the post the next day. She sent a text saying she was upset, not at the lack of gift, but that she really cared about the keepsake nature of the cards. I assured her it was en route. Tracking proved it delivered the next day. My wedding comes and is wonderful. She arrives. I go and speak to them. She is very cold towards me and just says she doesn't want to keep me and walks away. My mum goes to speak to her and my friend dismisses her and leaves shortly after. I received no card or gift from them. I attempted to meet up with her before leaving the country but got no reply. I haven't heard from her since. I can only assume she was so annoyed about me getting married so close to her wedding that she would rather ditch the friendship. The funny thing was that there was no real overlap between our guests, so I honestly don't know why she was so upset over me stealing her thunder, especially when we did get married a few weeks after her. Ah well, sometimes the trash takes itself out, I guess. Bridezilla can't even understand the basic concept of having an urgent reason to get married quickly. OP was right about the trash taking out itself. Bad friend. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on the bell or you'll be running on fumes. See you in the next video.